You got dressed this morning without thinking about it. Shirt, pants, shoes, 3 minutes. You didn't ask why. You just did it, the way every human on the planet does, every single day. But for the first 200,000 years of human existence, your ancestors didn't. And the cold doesn't explain it. Modern hunter-gatherer groups in sub-Saharan Africa, where temperatures exceed 40 degrees Celsius, still move through their environment with minimal covering. The climate is not the answer, which means the real answer is stranger and far more revealing about what it means to be human. Here is what most people get wrong. The oldest sewn garments date to roughly 30,000 years ago, but clothing itself is far older. The evidence isn't fabric. Fabric doesn't survive. The evidence is parasites. In 2011, evolutionary biologist Mark Stoneking published a genetic study on lice. Head lice live in hair. Body lice live in clothing. They die within hours without it. Because body lice are a distinct species, Stoneking's team used molecular clock analysis to calculate when they diverged from head lice. The answer: approximately 170,000 years ago. Clothing had to already exist for body lice to exist. And the timing doesn't match cold weather. It matches something else entirely. Around 1.2 million years ago, your ancestors lost most of their body hair. Biologist Peter Wheeler showed that upright posture combined with bare skin and expanded sweat glands let early humans cool efficiently on the open savanna. You can outrun a horse in the heat, not because you're faster, but because you don't overheat. Your sweat does the work, but bare skin created a new problem. It's fragile, exposed to UV radiation, insects, abrasion, infection, and cold nights, even in warm climates. And the solution your ancestors found wasn't just practical, it was social. The earliest body coverings were almost certainly draped hides, not tailored, not warm enough to explain the behavior on their own. But they were visible. And here is the turn. Sites showing early pigment use, ochre, red and yellow iron oxide, overlaps significantly with the period clothing appeared. Blombos Cave in South Africa shows ochre use dating to 100,000 years ago. Humans were decorating their bodies before widespread art, before sophisticated tools. Body decoration and body covering share the same logic. Both are about presentation. Both signal something to the people around you. And that impulse, to dress a certain way, to signal identity, status, belonging, is not modern vanity. It is 170,000 years old. Anthropologist Daniel Lieberman at Harvard links this shift to expanding group sizes. In a group of 15, you know everyone by face and history. In a group of 150, Robin Dunbar's cognitive limit for stable social relationships, you need faster signals, visual categories, ways to read at a glance who belongs and who doesn't, who is high status, who is available. Clothing solves that problem in a way bare skin cannot. The first garments weren't just protection from the environment. They were markers of distinction between humans, not between humans and the cold. And once that signal exists, it becomes a norm. And what becomes a norm becomes invisible. Automatic. The thing you do without thinking every morning. There is one final layer. In 2012, psychologists Hajo Adam and Adam Galinsky at Northwestern introduced the term enclothed cognition. Wearing a white lab coat described as a doctor's coat measurably improved attention and focus. The same coat described as a painter's coat did not. The garment was identical. The effect was entirely in the meaning attached to it. Clothing doesn't just perform identity outward, it performs identity inward. When you dress a certain way, you think differently. Your ancestors who first draped a hide across their shoulders may have felt something shift, not just warmth, but self. This is why every human culture in recorded history, without exception, has had clothing norms, even in climates where survival never required it. Because it was never about survival, it was about identity, status, and the social contract that made large-scale human cooperation possible. Think about the last time you wore something that made you feel powerful, or the last time you were underdressed and felt exposed, off balance, wrong. That sensation is ancient. That vulnerability is the same one your ancestors felt when they first stood naked and visible in a social world that was already watching. You got dressed this morning without thinking about it. But in that automatic gesture, the reach for the shirt, the glance in the mirror, was 170,000 years of social evolution. A species learning to speak without words. The clothes were never about the cold. They were always about each other.